Welcome to Cricbuzz Chatter. I'm live from the ground here at Supersport Park in Centurion. Dinesh Karthik is going to join us for a quick chat. He's fresh off 100 himself playing today. Dinesh, give us a few details about your innings today.
That was first of all, Polly. It's really nice to see you. It's been so long. Um, today was the finals of our domestic one-day competition. It's called Vijay Hazare, which didn't really go well for us as a team. We lost the game, but I managed to get a few runs, so it was good. It's been a good tournament for me personally, and it's been good for our state team as well. And it's great to see India batting the way they have done. So many records broken actually, in the sense that the openers have done so well. 100 and start. Overall, I think a very, very satisfying day for Team Tamil Nadu and India, I would say.
Yeah, I heard you were slogging it. I think there were 7 sixes in something involved in your innings. But yeah, it has been. It's been a day dominated by India here. I've had to just sit and watch, and Sunny's been very happy about how the way they've performed. But it has definitely been a case of KL is ruled the day here at Supersport Park. 122 still to go. What do you make of his almost reinventing himself at this test level? I mean, he didn't have a great start to his test career, but in the last 6 months or so, he's just been simply fantastic. I mean, from outside, it just looks like he's gone more from a patience perspective and being prepared to just be a little bit more watchful and selective about what he goes after.
Yes, I think the one thing that KL was caught up with was the way to play Test cricket, because when he played in domestic cricket, he used to hit a lot of sixes of fast bowlers over covers, over long off, these sort of shots. So when he brought that to the table in Test match cricket, obviously it wasn't that easy to consistently keep doing that to bowlers who bowl 140, 145 plus. And the odd time that you do get out playing a big shot, it doesn't look good as an opener. So I think he's brought about this change in the game, which is to do with the fact that obviously he's changed a few things technically, like the way he stands, his position of hands that stands, these sort of small things that he's worked on, and he's gotten better at it. And that has given him the confidence to go out there. And when I saw the knocks today, I couldn't watch the game live, but the fag end of it, the last 30 overs, I did watch ball to ball. The way he handled the second new ball was brilliant. The way he was leaving the ball, how late he's playing it. Generally, he's somebody who goes for the cover drive a lot and the uppercut. But now you can see he's waiting on the cover drive, allowing the ball to come to him, which in turn is getting him into good positions to play the right shots. First, and I'm sorry if the internet isn't great. I don't know where I'm stuck right now. Definitely, I'm sorry to all the viewers. The place where I'm in, internet is a bit of a struggle. So please, in case it's not that great, please allow me just one day.
Well, it's sounding great. It's sounding almost as good as your batting performance at this stage. I think also the partnership, it was really interesting for me to see here today. I thought there would be some movement up front. I thought India might struggle to get going. I thought South Africa would break the partnership early and put them under immense pressure. But I just think the combination of Rahul and Mayank was simply superb. I know they're good friends and I know they batted a lot together. They haven't got many opportunities because Rohit's always been at the other end. Either one of them has been playing or one of them has been sitting on the bench. I think their best partnership was only 34 before this. So to start the series off in this fashion, I think that must just be a massive, huge confidence boost for India.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a bit of a case of a musical chair there, because there have been openers who've been doing phenomenally well for India. It was Mayank and Prithvi at the start of the Australian tour. Then in between it was Rohit and Mayank. Then it was Rohit and somebody else. It kept changing a bit. But now, obviously, in the England tour at the start, Mayank got injured, which gave KL the opportunity to open with Rohit, and he's grabbed it with both hands. And then you thought, wow, what is Mayank going to do now? Then he gets an opportunity in the home series. He gets a massive 100 here, and that's given him the confidence. And it's great to see both these boys, very good friends off the field as well, coming from the same state of Karnataka. And for the first time, two Karnataka openers have got a 100-run start as well. So things look really ominous for India at the moment. And there is openers galore. Even in the shed, there is Priyank Panchal. There's obviously, apart from that, um, we have Prithvi Shaw, who's been doing well. There is Abhimanyu Ishwaran. So many good openers in India, and it's great to see KL and Mayank just grabbing the opportunity with both hands. And mind you, winning the toss and taking batting first was a positive decision on this wicket. You know how it is in Pretoria, Polly. I don't need to say the number of times you've picked up wickets in the first hour is too many. And I'm sure the bowlers were looking to do that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm going to put you on a little bit of pressure. Now, there was a stat that came through that this is the first, or there's been 7 occasions this year that they've batted for more than 20 overs as the openers for India since 2010. Were you ever opening for India from 2010 to 2020?
No, I think by then.
Were you
I
before that?
Yeah, just before that, I remember playing you and Dale Stein in one game in Cape Town. But yeah, it's just it's good to see that when they put up these scores on. Obviously, people talk about stats, and then your name comes through. It feels good. But I think the bigger stat is the number of wickets you've taken in the first hour, especially in Pretoria, where the ball does a bit. Anywhere in
Okay,
South
moving
Africa
on,
does a bit.
moving
But
on, moving on now. Moving on from all that nonsense. Don't worry about me. It's got nothing to do with me. Talking about stats, though, I think there's been a lot of chatter about Virat Kohli and his stats. Haven't been in quite the best form in the last 2 years. Do you think, having looked at his dismissal, he's got to be really, really disappointed? He looked in such good touch. He looked so motivated. His feet were moving nicely. He was getting to really strong positions. To have chased that delivery on 35, almost when he was in set, like he was going to go and to get a big score, I think he must be sitting at the hotel pretty frustrated at the fact that he's got out in that fashion.
yes, definitely. I think knowing him, he's somebody who sets very high standards. So he'd be very disappointed with the shot that he did. But till the time he did play, he looked good. And you could see South Africa has a clear plan to him. They aren't bowling anything on the stump. They're bowling the starting fourth stump. They don't mind bowling on the sixth and seventh stump. Just with the way Ngidi reacted when he got the wicket tells me that it was a plan. I don't think they expected him to get out that way, but the plan is definitely to keep it outside the stumps for him as much as possible. And you could see Virat is somebody who likes bat on ball, and that's why he went for something that was way beyond his reach. And he'd be seething inside. He'll be disappointed. I think you also know Virat Kohli well. You don't want to go near him today. He'd be very, very upset.
Yeah, I think just that how wide the delivery was from Ngidi that he chased. I think that'll be the real disappointment. He had been so circumspect and pretty calculated in his approach. So, yeah, I'm sure that's good signs for him, though. I think maybe in the series he might get back to his best form. Talking about getting back to best form, Lungi Ngidi, he really impressed me today. We're a little bit worried about how he would go. He's been short of a gallop. His fitness levels haven't really been up to scratch. But to pick up those 2 wickets back to back and pick up the third one of Kohli, I think that's been vitally important in place of Nortje. Nortje missing is a huge blow, obviously, for South Africa. How would you think that they would view the two bowlers of Ngidi and Nortje? Would there be more fear factor and more worries about playing Nortje than there would have been looking at Ngidi?
I would think so, and I say that only because I've played him in IPL right now. He's bowling rockets. He's bowling real fast, and I think he's got a lot of confidence going. He wasn't a really specialist T20 bowler, but he's grown in stature, and that's gonna keep him in good stead even in Test cricket. I think he's a big miss for South Africa this series, not only because of the speeds that he's bowling, but also the lengths that he's bowling. He bowls very nickable lengths in South Africa, which is very important for you to get wickets behind. I wanted to ask you this, Polly. Among the four bowlers, yes, the wickets column shows that Ngidi was the best, but who do you actually think among the four fast bowlers bowled the best today?
Yeah, I'd actually probably have to say the first two spells of Kakisa Rabada were probably the best I saw today. His first one, he was a little bit indisciplined, sort of missed his mark. And I think afterwards we had an interview with Lungi where he said all the bowlers had identified that they'd probably missed their lengths and areas in that first spell. I thought his second spell was spot on. And he was the one guy who created a little bit of hostility. Another guy who I'm going to ask you about, Marco Jansen. I don't know if you did play. You played a few games in the IPL. Bit of a surprise selection for me. I thought Dwan Olafia would get the nod, having had the Test record that he had before he went to go and play in England. Talk of how he had developed his game, playing on the county circuit, and worked on how to get a fuller length. Um, have you had any experience against Jansen or Olafia that you can talk of?
Definitely Marco Jansen. I saw him in IPL, and obviously he was going to play against us, but in the end they decided to go with Trent Bolt. They didn't want to rest Trent Bolt, so he didn't play that game. But I saw him bowling, and more importantly, I spoke to a few of the boys who had gone on the A tour and played the South Africa A team recently, and they said the best bowler out there with Sipamla and everybody else who was there was definitely Marco Jansen. They said he bowled well, he bowled good lengths, he was able to bring the ball back in, and he did have the ball to straighten as well. So they thought he bowled well. So I wasn't surprised seeing him because obviously he gets the he gets the ability to get the ball back in, and it's a good variation to have having a left-hander there. So I wasn't surprised, but yes, Duane Oliver missing. I did think the way he bowled the last series for South Africa was phenomenal. So I expected him to start, but looks like they preferred Marco Jansen on this um, on this ground in this venue for the first test. It's going to be very interesting how they're going to shape up for the rest of the series as well.
Yeah, it's also going to be interesting to see if he creates some footholds. Ashwin will probably be licking his lips, thinking, "Oh, this could be my opportunity to get a little bit of purchase outside that off stump." So we'll have to see how he goes. But let me put you in the bit of the hot seat or the hot spot. There's obviously been a lot of discussion about the batting order for India, number 5 or number 6. Ajinkya Rahane got the nod in this game. Hari and Shreyas Iyer were obviously competing for that position. Ajinkya gets 40 today. Does that justify the selection, or you still of the opinion that maybe the other two should have got an opportunity?
Look, I believe that one of the other two could have probably got, but having said that, I knew and I got a pretty much a strong gut feeling saying that they will go with Rahane for two reasons. A, he's an experienced player. He's been the vice captain up until this series. He's somebody who plays medium pace well. He has a pretty decent record in South Africa. And whenever India has been under pressure, he's got the runs. When you're going in with 6 batters, and I think they wanted to rely on experience because that's what Ajinkya Rahane brings to the table. I love the intent with which he bats. We got to understand when you're reaching 30 and you're cross 30, there's a lot of pressure as a batter. The whole of the country is speaking about the fact that probably he shouldn't have played. But for him to come and play with the intent that he's played, and it's credit to Dravid and Kohli for backing him. Is it a bit unfair to Shreyas and Haruma Vihari? Maybe, but that's always the case when you have a strong team. You are going to be leaving out somebody who's going to be disappointed. In this case, it's been Vihari and Shreyas Iyer. But I'm happy for Rahane because I think he needs the runs. And what I enjoyed even more was the intent that he showed. He was ready to play shots that he was good at, and that was good to see. He wasn't meek at any point, and I like that. And on this note, Polly, let's fast forward. I think I have something for you here. All right, Polly. How do you think the day looks tomorrow? What do you think South Africa has in store?
I somehow had a feeling it was going to go down that route. Like, could South Africa possibly bounce back? Well, I must tell you that the weather's looking good. You can see the sunshine shining brightly on my face here. Chance of rain, not really. Thunderstorms is what you can maybe expect here at the ground tomorrow at some stage. But I don't think it'll wipe out the whole day. There might be a few overs lost. Thunderstorms might be the only thing that could save South Africa at this stage. It hasn't been their best bowling performance. They haven't gone very well at all. I think India have been superb. Their watchful approach up front, the partnership that they put together has really laid that foundation. I thought Agarwal and Rahul were superb. I think Ajinkya Rahane is looking probably in the best of touch of everyone. He went out to join KL Rahul, and everything he hit, he just came off the middle. So it's a bit of ominous signs for South Africa. Very surprised at the tactic with the new ball. They took it, and within 2 or 3 overs, they had Keshav Maharaj into the attack with that new ball in his hand. So that was a massive surprise for me. They're basically saying that you aren't backing your seamers to make the inroads. But the good news is they've still got that new ball available for them tomorrow. They're going to have to make it work. Otherwise, I really do feel India could post a massive score. I know you're going to have a little smile on your face when I say something like that, because the series really could be set up tomorrow morning. If they come out here and negate anything that South Africa throw at them in the first hour or hour and a half, you're looking at posting 500 comfortably. And then you're probably going to look to win the test match from there, 1-0 up in the series. The frontier that hasn't been conquered as far as a test victory in South Africa could be very much on the cards. I think you guys in past series have been very slow starters and often put yourselves on the back foot and not being able to bounce back. But I think you guys are in the pound seats. And what about you? Do you think that they can hold their nerve and continue, or will they have to pinch themselves when they come to the ground tomorrow?
I think the weather and the conditions is going to play a big effort because you got to understand we're playing with only 6 batters, so you get a couple of wickets early on, and then you could be looking at 350, 380. Whereas if they find a way to bat like the way they batted today, decide to leave a lot of balls in the first hour and then bite the bullet, And then, obviously, just like you said, I think 500 is on the cards. And when you score 500 in the first test match on the first 2 days, you're putting a lot of pressure on the home team. You got to understand that South Africa look really rusty with the ball, and I have a feeling they will be pretty rusty with the bat as well. And India have four medium pieces again, so it's advantage India as of now. And I see India obviously having a better day tomorrow if they can find a way to negate the first 1 hour.
Yeah, well, Kale has definitely Rahul the day here at Supersport Park on day one. India are in the pound seats. I hopefully look forward to having a discussion with you on Cricbuzz Chatter tomorrow, where South Africa have showed a bit of character and bounced back nicely. Have a good celebration about your 100. Sorry that you didn't go on to win the trophy today, but always good to catch up with you. And that's all from us here at Cricbuzz Chatter.
Nice, Kohli.